Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Anman, your host for the next few hours, along with Steve.
Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning. Spence is here.
Hello.
Hello. And Nick is here
Hey, hey.
with a brand new computer. We're going to hear about this later.
Ooh.
Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning's show is being brought to you by Adamus.com, makers of video recorders and converters for professionals. And this broadcast is also made possible by Telestream's Wirecast software. So Mike is probably going to be here later. Woke up late or something. I don't know. But as usual, he'll show up later. That's fine. So, tell us.
Well, no, but let's see what's going on with everybody else. I've got
Okay.
2 hours.
So, Steve,
What's
what's
going on,
happening
everybody?
across the pond?
Well, we're all sat here waiting for Nick to tell us about his new computer. The whole
No,
of the UK.
he doesn't. He doesn't want to say anything right now. He wants to give
No, that's
everybody.
not true. It's not that I want to say anything. Let's get everything else. Let's get a.
Yeah,
a
you
little
have to
stuff
understand.
going.
Once Nick is going to start talking about
Yeah,
his
that'll be the
experience,
rest of the show.
I'm going to go back to bed, and everybody else can actually quit because Nick is going to be talking for a few hours.
It'll be waxing lyrical. Not a lot's been happening here in the UK, not for me personally or anything else. I've not really noticed any major stories that have been, wow, look at that, that's incredible.
Oh, there you go.
But I'm sure you'll pick up on a story or two that I've spotted as well and thought, oh, that won't be interesting.
Yep.
And then you'll come up with something and I'll think, well, this is what I thought. So we'll have to wait and see. Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah, you guys keep going. I need to tweet it. I don't think anybody tweeted.
Suspense, what sort of week have you had?
Sorry, I was muted. I was
That's
switching
okay.
headsets here. I've been criticized for having echo each week, so I just was trying to find a good set of earbuds that didn't make everybody sound like they were underwater.
And you found a pair.
This is much better, much better, much better. So I've been actually playing around with some Linux distributions that have been fun. Trying to reuse some older machines and put them back into service. So I know, of course, there's Ubuntu out there, which a lot of people know about, which is an excellent distribution, although it's gotten quite large and top heavy, so it does require a pretty good processor to run. And then there are other ones out there that have been slimmed down. They're all based on the same core Linux distribution, but there's one called Lubuntu and there's another one called Kubuntu. But I was just reading a tech blog and stumbled across something called LXLE, which is I'm not sure if someone mentioned it on the show or not, but somehow I wandered over to that. And it is an excellent distribution that also is designed to work with older machines. So I actually installed it on some 486s and got very good results with it. It has the default mode is to emulate Windows XP, desktop, which makes it a really good choice for giving a machine away to someone who doesn't have a lot of experience. Or yes, the names of the applications are different. It's going to have a different. They're not going to be the traditional names that you would see in Windows, but a lot of it is pretty intuitive, and I'm very happy with it. I'm playing around with all different types of hardware now to see how well it runs.
Well, a
Anybody else?
familiar environment isn't a bad thing, is it?
It's good stuff.
Yeah, we've got Mike. Hey, Mike.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
Oh, hey, Mike.
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Better out of
Super. Have you had a good week this week, Mike?
It could have been a lot worse.
Well, that's the positive way of looking at it.
Yes. And how about your week?
It's pretty much the same answer as yours, really. Not a lot happening. It's been very cold here. Got down to about 3.5 degrees, but the wind chill felt like it was -10.
Same here. Exactly the same here for a couple of days.
Not good at all, especially when it's a day that you go out shopping.
Bunch of babies.
So what did you go shopping for?
Oh, nothing exciting like gadgets, unfortunately, just grocery shopping.
Yeah.
I drove down to Florida to visit with my aunt and uncle, who were recently moved to a retirement community where they had been living in a very nice they called it a forest, really. It's a development that had minimum 5-acre zoning, and it was built back in, I guess, in the 80s. They've been there a while. They built their own house there. My uncle was a craftsman, built all his own cabinets, just amazing. But they never had internet connections in there, because when they first built this community, cable TV offered to come in, and they turned it down, which I'm not sure why. But years later, when they finally wanted it, and the cable company said, sorry, no. And they were too far out for DSL, so the only thing they could use was broadband wireless, which they did get a Verizon broadband wireless card, which served them well for years. But they finally now are in a place where they have cable. So they immediately, my uncle just turned 83, immediately got a DVR, got broadband internet, and they're going to town. And now he's going to catch up on all the Discovery Channel, History Channel stuff he's missed over the last 20 years. They got Netflix account. They bought a Roku. So I have to hand it to them. They really are not afraid to embrace technology. So it was kind of fun to see them do that.
I could get my father to embrace technology. He's 85 next month, but he's just a technophobe. He just doesn't want to know. I managed 80 years without it.
My mother was that way. I'd give her a lesson on email, and she would fight me the whole way. And I can do it, and then wouldn't do it, and then I'd have to. I'd send out a test email in her name with her there, and of course everyone that we sent it to was responding to her, and she wouldn't reply. So everybody's calling me, "What's wrong with Mom? She sent me an email and I never heard back." So yeah, she just never was comfortable with it.
Well, I finally managed to get him a DVR, which he does enjoy now because he spends a lot of time watching television, but he still sits there and watches live TV and complains bitterly that, I saw that when I was a kid and that's on again. That was 20 years ago. I said, Dad, you've got a DVR full of stuff that you want to watch. Why aren't you watching that instead of flicking through the rubbish that's on? Oh, yeah, I have, haven't I? Yeah.
Interesting.
Stubborn, I call it.
Well, I think sometimes it's when I say a fear of technology, I don't mean it in necessarily a negative way. There are things that just think about the changes that have happened in the last 10 years, and now they're saying that it's supposed to accelerate, that the entire industrial revolution will be eclipsed in 10 years now because of how fast technology is changing. That they said that what took, all right, so airplanes started flying was at 1904, and then by within, let's see, 1969 we landed on the moon. So within about 60 something years, we went from the first airplane flight to landing on the moon. But now they say we'll have that same technological innovation in 10 years or less. So it's intimidating. I mean, I admit I don't keep up with gadgets like I used to. I mean, I used to just pour over this stuff and just hunt for new things and try them out and play with them. And there are some interesting new technologies coming out. They talk about robots in a way that's a little frightening, because you've heard Elon Musk and Bill Gates and other people come out and say, oh, we really need to be careful and protect ourselves from artificial intelligence. So what do they mean by that? Are we really that close to having a self-aware machine? Or are we just going to amplify our own bad decisions by making a machine that can decide to do the wrong things really quickly? It's a little strange talking about how robots, by the one thing I heard this week that was controversial was that within 5 years, driverless cars will be readily available at reasonable prices, and that within 20 years, no one will drive anymore. And that one person predicted that the next generation of children will grow up, and we'll have to remind them, hey, what used to be we drove those cars. We didn't just hop in and tell it where to go.
Yeah, we had to pass a test and get a driving license.
Yes. But they also was alarming that they said that it will result in the loss of millions of jobs because of all the people that are either professional drivers or the industries that support drivers, and driving in general will essentially go away. So are you going to have a fast muscle car that you will race against somebody else by programming it and just sitting in the back seat? So
it's difficult to know where it's going.
We'll live in interesting times. It's certainly going to be interesting, but my expectation is that a lot of this is going to backfire. There's a movement now to get back to basics, to learning trades, and essentially the whole off-the-grid mentality is becoming more and more popular. And it can be in degrees. It doesn't mean you just go out and live in the woods and have no electricity or anything like that. You can live off the beaten path, so to speak, still be in touch with everybody, but not have your life run by...
as long as there's always going to be a choice and it's not forced upon you, then yeah. I suppose the people that don't want it at all or don't want a lot of it can do without.
All right.
I hope for the future. That's what I say. I hope it's going to be good. That technology will be used to our advantage and not to beat us in the head. I mean, we had a major data breach, or someone hacked into a healthcare provider called Anthem here in the U.S. And they estimate that it's over, I think they were talking about something like more than 50 million records were stolen. I have to confirm that number, but it's up there. It's a lot of people. And although they made it sound like that it wasn't such a big deal because they stole financial information, credit card numbers, social security numbers, and other things, but they didn't take any health records. Okay, but they now have all the information they need to steal identities, and to the latest scam that's happening is tax refund fraud. TurboTax, which offered state and federal filing, online filing, has stopped doing state tax return filing because of fraud. And It's not that they uncovered how they noticed through their own watching the system that there was an awful lot of unusual activity with state tax returns. So digging into it, they decided to stop doing it and to alert the government to say, this isn't good. And locally, there was an alert given out about watching out for W-2 thieves, people who would steal your W-2 form from the mailbox and then file a state tax return in your name, send it to a different address and collect the money. This is the best thing you can do to fix that is to file as early as possible to prevent them from stealing your tax return.
Oh,
So
don't
with
use
technology-
don't
with
use
technology
TurboTax.
comes all these hazards. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Don't use TurboTax.
Well, just if it's happening to TurboTax, it's not a TurboTax issue. It's
That's
not
true.
their security
Yeah,
breach.
that's true.
It's the system that's
Yeah.
failing. And they stepped up and said, we're not going to do. They still do federal, but they don't do any state. I don't know when they're going to resume. They said they're going to resume as soon as they figure out
Yeah.
how to lower the exposure, but it's puzzling. Anybody else having trouble watching the stream?
Yep. But you're not watching the chat. There's a problem with JustCast, so
Oh, okay, I'll switch.
everybody went to Vaughn. But if you just reload, it'll take you now to Stream Up. I changed the default to Stream Up, so if you
Oh,
just
okay.
refresh,
Yeah, I had reset it. I wasn't watching the chat.
yeah. That was kind of weird, Nick.
What?
I was looking on Wirecast on the reruns machine,
Mm-hmm.
and the stream was orange. So I
Yeah.
went and looked, and when I saw JustCast is messing up, I turned it off. When I saw JustCast is messing up, I turned it off. When I saw JustCast, Mike. And what happened is when I clicked to stop JustCast, Wirecast froze, not responding, and it just sat there. And then it came back, so I switched to StreamUp instead, and it worked fine. Then I said, let's see if JustCast will work. So I started JustCast again, and it came up, and after like 10 seconds, it turned orange again. So I killed it, and we're fine now. But it's almost like they're sucking all the bandwidth out of it, which I know it's not. But that's what it looked like.
You
Anyway,
got to watch out for those bandwidth vampires. They're out there.
yeah.
They're sucking all the bandwidth out of everything.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm going
Mike
to
is
drop
quiet.
from the hangout for a moment and come back because I have something
Okay,
wrong
that's
here.
fine.
I can't get in. Yeah, I'll be right back.
That's fine. And Nick, go ahead. Tell us about your new computer. You built a new computer, which you're using
I
right
did.
now.
Yeah, so after, let's see, I'd say so after about, I think it was 3 or 4 years of the one I was on, which was a Powerhouse AMD system, they decided I needed a new computer. No, needed is not the right word. Wanted a new computer. As simple as that. The other one was almost 4 years old, I think, and I wanted something new, and I wanted to give Intel a try because these AMD systems, people aren't joking when they say these systems run hot. I mean, it brought the temperature of my room up by probably 10 or 20 degrees in the summer. So this computer ran extremely hot, and so I decided to go with an Intel build. So I built an i7 4790. I built a computer with that processor, 16 gigs of RAM, GeForce GTX 960, and a pretty nice Cooler Master case. And that was my what was that, Friday night?
Right.
Yeah, that was my Friday night. So.
And Saturday.
Yeah, and now I'm spending, the next probably 2.5 weeks or whatever, over time installing all the stuff I need. But it's nice that I have Carbonite, so I can go in there and grab everything. Which what I did last night, I grabbed a few folders that I needed.
Why
and a Carbonite.
Why aren't you grabbing it off of the old machine, the hard drive?
Because I don't have it hooked up. I could.
Yeah, you need to take the hard drive out and plug it as a secondary drive into the new machine, and just get whatever you want.
Which I probably will end up doing. I
Normally,
just needed to.
normally what I do when I upgrade for customers, because I haven't done upgrading for myself in a long time, I would always use Y copy and copy the whole hard drive to a folder on the new machine and call it old C, and move whatever I see need to move for the customer to the new, like my documents and stuff. But I would tell them, here is old C. If you, for the next 6 months, a year, whatever, if you find out that you need something, then just go to this folder and grab it. And
Yeah,
I would,
I won't be doing that for sure.
well, this is for people that are not
Yeah.
into it full time.
But part of me almost doesn't want to put that old drive in there because I'm gonna end up downloading a bunch of junk, or I'm gonna end up taking over a bunch of junk. So
Well,
for right now, if I really really need something, I'll go to Carbonite and grab it. But there's just so much crap on there I don't need. That if I plug the drive in, I'll be like, oh well, I might need that. Oh, I might need that, and then the next thing you know, I've used half of my terabyte drive with a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, and Tim is asking, did you put Windows 7 on it?
No, and I can actually talk about this a little bit. This is an interesting thing. So, Amnon, do you want to talk about where you got those keys?
Those keys came from Microsoft 2 years ago. I don't know.
Was
Steve,
that through the
remember?
show, though?
Steve, remember the one I sent you?
Yeah.
Nick dealt with the same issue.
Oh, right. Okay.
So Amnon, with these Microsoft gave you these keys?
Yeah.
So through Computer Suka now, right?
Right.
So a while ago, Amnon got a few keys from Microsoft for Windows 8, Windows 8 Pro, not Windows 8.1, just regular Windows 8 Pro, and he had an extra key laying around, so he gave that to me, and the biggest problem right now is getting a download of Windows 8 is very hard. What I was going to do was get a download of Windows 8 and do the free upgrade to Windows 8.1, but Microsoft, I could not find a regular Windows 8 download from any of their install media applications that they make available. So I was doing some research, and I'll post the link in chat here, but a Windows 8 key will not work when you install Windows 8.1. So if I have a Windows 8 key, I cannot install, which I just can't install. I can activate, I can't install it with the Windows 8 key. So Microsoft makes this service available. It's called the KMS Client Setup, and they're basically just dummy keys for a bunch of their operating systems. So what I did is I went in here, and since my key is Windows 8 Professional, I went in here and I installed Windows 8.1 Professional using this dummy KSM key. It allows me to install Windows, but it doesn't activate it. And then once I get inside of Windows, I can go in and activate my Windows 8 key, and it authenticates through, but you can't install with that key, which I really don't understand.
So you can operate Windows 8.1 with that key, but not install it.
Correct, which I don't really understand why you wouldn't be able to install it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Does it allow you to change the key on the Windows system screen?
Yeah, correct. You sign in and you go to my computer and you go to activate, because it's not activated. It's just a dummy key. So
It
you
could
in
be
the
that
bottom
the
right-hand corner
K-
you've got.
It could be KMS's key code management system, and that's the way they manage all their licensing.
So they've
But
got
what could be happening is, and this from experience, is if you install Windows 7, for example, on a machine that's not connected to a network, and say you were using a key that was an enterprise key where they have, say, 20 installations allowed, and you did it without the machine connected to the internet, you could install it and then get to the point where you're ready to activate, and it would say can activate because that key is used. But if you were to connect to the network and allow it to update the installer, it will fail. It won't let you install because it goes and checks against the KMS system and say, well, no, those keys are already used. So it's got to do with the how fresh their library is.
But
And
that's
probably
not.
they said,
No,
well,
I
we're
don't
not
think.
going to.
Now, the issue wasn't the key not working. The issue is that you're not allowed to install. This is throughout all of Windows 8. You cannot install any version of Windows 8.1 with a Windows 8 key.
Well, what I'm saying is that the Windows 8 library of keys stopped evolving. That's why. And you can't. So the key you try to use the 8 key with 8.1, it's not going to work. So, but this is a way they fix. Since they offered a free upgrade to 8.1, this is better than them going back and saying, "Oh, let's allow all these Windows 8 keys to work with 8.1." It's easier for them to just create the dummy keys than it is to go back and change their entire KMS system
Okay.
to reflect the change.
Oh,
I don't know. Just honestly, let's just say I'm not surprised.
but it
I'm not
worked.
surprised that
But it
it,
worked.
it worked. But I mean, like if I wasn't as much of a tech guy, I'd have no freaking clue what to do.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd end up going out to the store and buying $100 copy of Windows 8.1 because my Windows 8 key didn't work.
Bingo. That's exactly what I was thinking as you were talking about this. This is not for anybody not for the faint of heart. Put it that way.
No, not at all. I mean,
So,
it took me a while to figure it out.
Yep.
Trying to figure out what to do, and then
We
once I
need an
figured it out, I
article.
got
We
it.
need an article about that.
Well, I think did I post in chat? Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Luckily for me, I kept the key and I downloaded an ISO of Windows 8, so I should have an easier time of it.
Yeah, back
Yeah, well,
then.
what I could have done was the same thing. I could have downloaded Windows 8 and then installed that and upgraded to Windows 8.1. But I was
But you couldn't find it.
no, I mean I could have found an ISO off of the Pirate Bay or something that was just a legitimate ISO.
Now
But
that it's back online, yeah.
but now that I could, but then I've got stuff left from Windows 8, and I wanted to do a clean install. It was a brand new computer.
Yeah, you don't want to do an upgrade if you can avoid it.
Exactly. So it worked, and I'm happy with it. I spent probably more time setting up Windows than I did building the computer.
But you feel fulfilled.
Exactly.
But
I haven't-
it was a nice. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Spence. Go ahead.
I was going to say I haven't dabbled in a while, but I spent a lot of time in the last 2 weeks dabbling and playing around, and I like doing it. I just don't have the time.
Mike, were you trying to say something?
Yeah, Andrew installed a new solid state drive on his MacBook Pro. And the system, the way Mac does it, is when you put a brand new drive in the computer, the operating system senses that there's nothing on the drive. It goes out to the web, downloads the operating system, installs it for free.
That's because the operating system is free.
Well, there you go. Even Andrew was able to do it.
So how do if on the Pro? I'm sorry, I was thinking if it was a laptop, then of course it wouldn't work because there's no.
It is a laptop.
Yeah.
His laptop.
Well, how does it sense what operating system does it start up with if there's only room for one drive?
Couldn't tell you.
It's probably
BIOS. It must be something on the built into the machine itself.
yeah,
It
it's
is.
gotta be.
It
Like a
is.
recovery partition or something that does it.
It
Oh,
took
there
him-
wouldn't be, the partition is on the hard drive.
Oh yeah.
It must be in flash and memory on the machine itself. I didn't know that. That's actually interesting.
Took Andrew 7 or 8 minutes to download the operating system and another 10 or 15 to update it, and he was back in business.
Talking about SSD, since I put the SSD on my XP machine, I noticed blue screens. And the other day, right before doing the monthly billing, I came in the room, in the office, and it had a blue screen, and it says, unknown hard disk error. I rebooted. It came up with something about IRQ not equal, not less or equal, whatever. I rebooted. It came up. I said, okay, at this point, I'm going to put back a spinning drive. So I cloned it, put a spinning drive there, and knock on wood, this was Wednesday. Up till now, no more blue screens. So I don't know if it's a compatibility between the older AMD board that's on that machine, if it's something wrong with that SSD drive, something was not working right with the SSD. So it's fine if it's a little bit slower, but at least it's not blue screening. And hopefully within a week or so, I'll be able to put the new machine there, and everything will be fine. But I couldn't figure out why suddenly blue screens. And then I said, well, the only thing I did was putting an SSD. There were no new devices, no new programs. So that was an interesting. I've got the drive on the side. I'll try it after I put the new machine in. I'll try it on that drive and just fresh and see what happens. But no, Nick did a really nice job Friday, and he streamed the whole thing. So we were all watching and commenting, and it's like participated in doing it with him, and it was very nice. It was very
and
nice.
it's archived if you want to watch it. If you've got 4 hours worth of your time. It's up on YouTube, and I just posted the playlist, so we go start from opening. I mean, I literally started with just opening the boxes, and then, it ran until, 11 o'clock with me. At that point, I had installed Windows twice. I installed a different version of Windows, and then, I was set. But a lot of people, let's see, who asked me.
So what kind of temperature is it running at right now?
Hold
Do
on.
you know?
Before that, Jeff asked me why 8 and not 7. No reason really. It's just I've used I have my SnowCam that I set up, and I use Windows 8 on that. I use Windows 8.1 on that, and I mean, honestly, there really is no difference. It doesn't. You don't even have to set it to boot to the desktop. It doesn't even boot to the Metro interface. At least mine didn't. So I didn't have to set that. The first thing I did is install Classic Shell, and then yesterday I went into the Metro interface, turned off all the live tiles, and uninstalled all that stuff, so it wasn't using any resources, and now it's done. I mean, it's just like Windows 7. The only thing that's a little annoying is because I'm on 2 monitors. Sometimes when I'm in between monitors, the little start thing pops up, but it's not a big deal at all.
What do you mean the little start thing?
If you go on, I don't know how much you've used Windows 8.
I did
but
not.
if you go to the right-hand side of the monitor, the menu pops out.
Yeah. So if you try to move to the other monitor,
if I hold it like right at the edge of the monitor, it sometimes does it. It's not all the time.
That's the charms you're talking about.
Correct, the charms menu. Yeah. It's not all the time either. But this is another interesting thing. I don't know how many of you are using multi-monitor on Windows 7, but on Windows 8.1, it puts the taskbar on every monitor, which is kind of cool.
Really?
So, yeah. So I have my main monitor, which is the taskbar, and then the stuff on the right-hand side, like the date and the audio and all that stuff. And then I have and then I have my secondary monitor right now, which is just the taskbar. It doesn't have the stuff on the right-hand side, but they're both fully functioning taskbars with start menus, which is actually really cool.
You don't have the sys tray.
Correct. I don't have the system tray. But I like that because I can switch now. Previously, if I use these monitors for watching TV and playing games as well. So if I'd switch between a monitor, I'd lose the taskbar sometimes, depending on, what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So now this taskbar is going to be on every screen. I imagine I can disable it on a certain screen if I want, but I'm pretty happy with it.
Nick, when you turned off the live tiles, did you do it globally, or did you have to turn off each one individually?
I turned off just a few on the front page, and then I actually uninstalled a lot of them. So let me try this right now. I don't know if this is going to screw up the Hangout or not. But if I go to the Metro interface right now, there is no tiles on here that I can't uninstall. So I uninstalled all of the tiles that could have been uninstalled. So I've got one row of actually, I can probably show you this. This is what. Hold on. Can I go back? That's what my Metro interface looks like. It's that's all the tiles. I mean, it was full of like 4 pages worth of tiles.
Right.
But I turned off all the live tiles and uninstalled everything, and all of these are. Actually, I can uninstall IE too. But that's it. So, I'm pretty happy with it.
You're a happy bunny, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's nice when you gradually get and you can see the end of the tunnel, isn't it? You think, oh, finally, I'm nearly finished. Hooray!
Yeah, but you know, and I don't think this whole Windows 8 thing is a huge deal. I mean, I am a Windows power user in the sense of the word, and yeah, I don't see any limitations about this. And honestly, one of the major reasons I'm running Windows 8.1 is because Brian Aldridge, who is also another power user, has been running Windows 8 for years, or on his machine, and he's like, why do 7 if you can just do 8? And it makes a lot of sense. I mean,
I've been using 8. I have 2 machines, a 7 Ultimate and an 8.1 Pro.
Yeah.
And I use the 8.1 Pro almost exclusively now as my main desktop.
And you really don't notice any
No.
things where you're like, oh man,
I think it actually runs better. But before, when you said that it's not a big deal, but it took them a year to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
In the beginning, it was a big deal. But now it's like everybody's cleverly come up with ways to circumvent Microsoft, and the dinosaur has finally realized that and is supposedly going to fix all this in Windows 10. But we'll see.
Nobody likes change.
Yeah. Tim's is asking in chat how much RAM. I have 16 gigs of RAM. But
yeah, I'm running 8.
Going back to this, Amnon, you're asking me what the temperature is?
Yeah.
44 degrees Celsius on my CPU.
I guess we're just going to have to wait and find out what it runs when you do a show.
Well,
because that's where you were having the problems, right?
Yeah, but I was playing a game last night and it was running very cool as well.
It's the cool factor.
No, I mean,
oh, you should have seen the cooler on that thing.
Yeah, let's see. I can grab a still of the cooler.
I told him he can actually probably take the cooler and put it on his car and use the radiator from the car on the computer.
He's got one of those old a surplus computer room chiller out there.
Yeah, here it is. I just
see.
Come on. I just posted the link. In chat to the cooler, which almost takes up the entire case. And honestly, I could have gotten away perfectly fine with the stock one, but it was only like $22. It was on sale. It was only $22. So,
another interesting thing that happened with me moving to the Windows 7 machine that got me almost to the point where I say, well, no, I need to stay with XP for that program. My ISP billing program is an old program. It's a great program, but it's old. Running FileMaker 5, FileMaker Pro 5 or whatever. The nice thing about it is that you can copy the whole folder and move it to another machine and run it. You don't have to actually install it. So when I started the whole move, that's the first thing that I moved over, and I clicked on it, and it came up, and I said, everything great. So it was Tuesday or so. I said, okay, let me update it. So to update it, you take all the FP5, FM5 or FP5. I can't remember the extension, but it's the one for FileMaker, which everything changes in that, and you copy them into that folder. When I looked at the balance of, I just wanted to make sure everything is okay. I'm glad I did. I went to the latest customer and clicked, and on the XP machine, he already paid. On the new machine, it said, no, he's overdue. So I copied it again across the network. Same thing. So I copied it to a flash drive and copied it to the same thing. Now I put the program in program files x86. It just won't work. It doesn't see the updates. So I figured, let me put it in the root folder. So I put it under C. Everything worked fine. So somehow the program files x86 is different in the way things look at it than just a standard folder. The program works great
It could
under
be
the
in the
C drive.
registry that it recognizes the x86 folder and will limit it to only so many resources, or
I don't know.
x86 is 32-bit. So
Well, that is a 32-bit machine.
No, I
I mean,
realize, I
program,
realize.
it's probably even a
you-
16. I don't know.
I wonder if you had changed the permissions, if you went into the, is it an exe file that you run?
It's an exe.
So I wonder if you would go into the setup, right click on it, and tell it to run it in XP emulation, and see if that would
There's
make a difference.
maybe, I don't know. The point is having it as a regular. I don't care if it's in under the C
No,
folder.
why?
It's fine. It
Yeah,
makes no difference
works.
as long as it's running and everything. But it was interesting that it everything functions. You can enter new stuff. You can go back to when I copied it over. It was January 6th, I think. Everything was there, but none of the updates, the updated files, updated records would not show unless it was in a different folder. So if anybody is
Have
running
you-
into that problem,
Have you run into any other programs that you cannot use from XP?
you mean in Windows 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, the program that I'm using for submitting to search engines is acting
Why don't you
up.
try, since you have download Virtual Machine and run Virtual XP?
I don't want any of that stuff. That's
Oh, it works.
much
It works
simpler.
very well.
It's much simpler. I'm going to keep the old machine to do the monitoring on the 42-inch screen. You know, the server
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
So I'm gonna keep it there to do that, and everything is still on it. So that program runs only once a month, and it's on a scheduler. So run it from there. It's no big deal.
But just we should say that if someone has a program that was a XP vintage that will not run on Windows 7, you can load for free. If you have Windows 7 Professional, you can download and install Virtual Machine and Virtual XP, and it will show up in your start menu the same way any other program would show up. You install it there, and it will just launch the virtual machine in the background and show a window on your screen running XP virtual mode. And you can set it for how much memory you'd like it to have. It's a true VM environment, virtual machine environment. It's not VMware, but it's a friendly way to run a program. I wouldn't, if you're running some hardcore stuff, I would probably go with something else. But what was the other? Was it VM Box or something like that? Virtual Box?
VirtualBox.
Yeah, that was another good one that was out there. I used for a while, but that was a work environment. I'd have to run new versions of communication software, and I did not want to install them. I'd have multiple betas running at the same time, and I didn't want to muck up my machine, so I used that to run an instance of each of these programs. And it screws up, you turn it off. So we're good.
All right, let's see what I have here. Steve, man, you guys are lucky. The
No,
National
thank you.
Telecoms operator for the United Kingdom, British Telecom, has today announced, and this was Tuesday, that it will begin a countrywide deployment of the next generation hybrid fiber G.fast broadband technology from 2016 to 17, with most homes being told to expect speeds up to 500 megabits, and a premium service offering of 1,000 megabits will also be available. They're doing this over copper.
Mm-hmm.
At present,
Exciting, isn't it?
what?
Exciting, isn't it?
Are you being sarcastic?
No, it is
Oh.
exciting.
Yeah.
You know, to go from what I'm on now, which is about 8 down, to possibly 50.
At present, British Telecom already covers most of the UK with hybrid fiber to the cabinet technology, which delivers download speeds of up to 80 megabits by running a fiber optic cable to a local street cabinet and then using VDSL2 over the remaining copper line from the cabinet to homes. G.fast follows a similar principle, but it brings the fiber optics cable even closer to homes, often by installing smaller remote nodes on telegraph poles, and uses more radio spectrum, 17 to 106 megahertz, over the shorter remaining run of copper cable, ideally less than 250 meters. 250 meters is like 250 yards. That's a long way. Their reliance upon copper cable means that the real-world speeds for some, such as those living furthest away from the remote nodes, will probably struggle to match up the BT's claim, but nevertheless, many telecom operators see this as being a more cost-effective approach to broadband than deploying a pure fiber optic, fiber to the home network. So they can do that. I mean, if they bring you 100 megabits up and down, hey, we already discussed it here. Who needs a gigabit, really?
Businesses.
Yeah, well, yeah, but for homes that have,
Who needs it? Absolutely nobody.
if
No,
you
but
if
give
you
it 5 years and everyone will want it.
want
Exactly,
it,
that's it.
yeah.
I don't even get fiber to the cabinet at the moment. All the streets around me have got fiber to the cabinet, and I live on the main street going through.
Uh-huh.
And the cabinet at the end of the road, they haven't upgraded it yet. I said, come on, you've done all around, but you've left my little cabinet at the end not done. Get on with it.
No,
I think they do it because they hate me.
no, nobody hates you.
It's frustrating. My father's got it where he lives, but he doesn't have an internet. But it's really frustrating to know all the streets and the houses around you can do it, but you can't.
Now, Nick, you like ad block?
Would you like me to go into an ad block rant, or is this a rhetorical question?
No, you do use AdBlock Plus and stuff, and you
Depends on the website.
right. But it's a program that I think I use it somewhere too. But listen to this: Internet giants Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Taboola have reportedly paid AdBlock Plus to allow their ads to pass through its filter software.
Fine.
The confidential deals were confirmed by the Financial Times. The paper reported today, this is from the Register's article. It says, IEO somebody, the German startup behind AdBlock Plus, said it did not wish to comment. So far, more than 300 million users have downloaded the software. It said the add-on is free to download, with IEO generating revenue through its whitelisting program. Companies can request their ads to be unblocked as long as they comply with AdBlock's acceptable ads policy. Large companies pay a fee for the service. So it doesn't block everything. You can, if you have the money, you can make sure that it goes through.
I'm fine with that. But no, I don't run ad block on every site. I don't think you should run ad block.
No,
on
you
every
shouldn't
site.
run it on every site.
For example,
people
YouTube,
need,
I don't run ad block
They need
on.
to make money.
People need to make money. Not everything should not. It's free for you. Watch a 30-second ad. Deal with it.
Yeah.
You're not. Get over it. Seriously, stop complaining.
And for those that did not hear the news yet, Radio Shack declared bankruptcy. That's it.
It's about time.
I mean, we talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. And finally this week they did it. It seems like Sprint is going to buy half stores. And I can't remember, somebody else will... They'll take the half a store and somebody else will take the other half. Some of the stores. The rest of them will close. End of an era.
Inevitable.
Yeah.
You know, that sucks. Now when I go to the mall, that's going to be one less store that I just walk around, that I mosey around in. So that's about all I ever did in that store.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what I thought you were going to say, because Dean Smith just passed away.
Oh, you're kidding.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, I understood he has not been well for a long time.
That's another end of an era.
Yep, that's a major era just ended there. I'm not a sports fan, but anybody who doesn't respect what that guy accomplished is asleep. I mean, he took a university with nothing to... Never mind.
And Spence, did you send the file?
I did.
Okay. When you guys talk, I'll go and copy it over. Now, here is something everybody should know about. If you don't know about it, I didn't know about it until I read this. In spite of Verizon's wireless recent boasts that it's a leader, not a follower, a new announcement for the nation's biggest wireless company shows that Big V is indeed following the competition down the path of charging customers less for their data plans. However, current Verizon subscribers will need to let the company know that they want to save money. So they're not going to come to you and say, you know what, we're going to cut your rate. You need to call Verizon and say, I heard that you're cutting the rate for data, so what can you do for me? It's a little confusing, so stick with us for a moment. Verizon, more everything customers who currently have monthly data allotment of 1, 2, 3, or 4 will have an option on how they want to save. They can either get more data for their money by getting 1 gigabit of additional data per month for no extra charge, or they can have their bill reduced by $10 a month. So someone with a 2 gigabyte plan is currently paying $50 a month. If they take the free data option, that goes to 3 gigabyte for the same price, or they can select to stick with the 2 and their data bill will drop to $40 a month. So you can either, it's a $10 saving. So either keep on paying us $50 or whatever you're paying and get 1 more gigabyte a month, or save and you'll get $10 less. You pay $10 less a month. But if you have the plan already and they don't mention anything about unlimited, I'll need to call them tomorrow and see. You have to, if you have a current plan, you need to call them and ask them to reduce your bill. It's not going to happen automatically. So you can
Yeah,
say,
I read that article also, and like you said, it was a little confusing as far as choosing what plan. I
well,
personally won't benefit from more data, so I'd take the reduction instead
yeah.
in price.
I mean, that's $120 a year. That's a tank of gas, right?
What are you filling up? I paid $189 down in Florida, or actually Georgia, on the way back, driving back.
Yeah, but it jumped after you.
Oh, I know, it jumped 20 cents overnight.
Yep.
Because that was due to what? There's some kind of strike that was happening, or
They
it
just
was
they just find
anything. It
reasons.
could have been, a moth landed on an oil rig, and that was enough
Yeah.
to change the price.
We were talking about it. I can't remember who I was talking about. Oh, with Uzi, about how it's when something happens like this, bam, it goes up. But if oil prices drop by $20, it'll take a month before we see it at the pump.
Think that's true, but you think about it though. If this was a conspiracy to keep prices high, how come they dropped? So there
Yeah.
is a lot to supply and demand. Yes, I think that there are things that they do to make the price stay up higher, but if this was truly a conspiracy where prices were where they were because they were being inflated or held there by some artificial means, then why did the price go down? So just doesn't happen as fast as we would like, but it did actually go down.
All right, go ahead and talk about something. I'm going to go and put the specials up.
So I ran across a new gadget. Now let's see if I can, I don't have a copy of the specials with me now. It's on the Best, I'm going to go to the Best Buy site. That way I can talk about it from there. But the other sites, Office Depot, Office Max, and Staples, don't tend to showcase new products, but Best Buy does. Bear with me a second while I get to their page. There are some things that come out that you say, oh, that's interesting, and there's some things that come out and you say, why would anybody use that?
Spence, you sent an email but no file.
No, I attached the file.
It's not there.
All right, let me fix it. I have to go over to the other laptop and send it from there because that's where I created. All right, I'll be back. Sorry about that. I know I said copy file, attach. Oh yeah, you know what happened was when I went to send the email, there was a failure. It said couldn't send, and when I resent it, it probably forgot about the attachment. I'll be right back.
Just goes to prove we're all human and make mistakes. I used to
Jeff
love it.
Bundy says that Staples is buying Office Depot. I haven't heard that. When did that happen?
I've not seen anything about that either.
Which do you have over there? Oh, it was reported in the Wall Street Journal. What do you have, Office Depot or Staples over there, Steve?
No, we don't, but generally I get news from America. I don't remember seeing an article about that.
Where do you...
Where do I get my office supplies?
Yeah, I mean, what equivalent type stores do you have over there?
I'm trying to think what ones. I think there might be one called Staples, but it's not affiliated to yours. And there's a couple of office places, but I can't think for the life of me what they're called now. It's been ages since I bought anything. Last time I bought paper and things like that, I bought a big bundle of it, and I very rarely print anything anymore.
Yeah, me either. I buy probably a case of paper every 2 years.
It's tricky times. They're all trying to compete and outdo each other, so it's not surprising some of them are just about to go under.
You know, the government here has put so many restrictions on businesses that they're struggling. They're really trying to stay profitable. Tesco and Sainsbury's.
Yeah, those are two retailers for grocery shopping, but also they do white goods as well. You know, refrigerators and cookers, electronics, TVs, that sort of stuff.
How close is the nearest one to where you live?
Well, they're both on the outskirts of town. All the big superstore type ones are on the outskirts of town now. The one I normally go to is Walmart, which is actually Asda in the UK, and it's just like
A- It's
like a
what?
Walmart. It's Asda.
ASDA?
Yeah, it used to be Associated Dairies, Asda, but Walmart bought them out several years ago now. So, and it's a typical Walmart store like you get in the US.
Interesting.
Supercenter?
So again,
Is it like a supercenter store, or is it just a grocery
Yeah.
store?
no, it's grocery. You can buy clothing, you can buy electronics,
Okay.
DVDs, you name it, you can buy it there.
Supercenter.
But the four big ones are Tesco, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, and Walmart in effect.
Mm.
And they're all trying to compete each other. So yeah, it's borderline, I imagine. You pay it out, you get it back every week, and then you carry on, rinse and repeat.
Yep.
This link, Jeff, that you posted to Wall Street Journal, you have to, says to read the full story, you have to subscribe or log in, but I get the gist of it.
It's a paywall.
Don't know why the Wall Street Journal thinks that it would be worth subscribing when there are probably 100,000 other places with the story. I mean, it's pretty tough to even get in the car and drive over to Staples whenever I can have it here in 2 days for free from Amazon at probably a lower price with a wider selection.
I went to Mike. I'm looking for that. I was looking for that marketing book, and I was at the mall yesterday. I went to the movies, and there's a Barnes and Noble in that mall. So I went into the Barnes and Noble, and found the book or whatever. Looked at it.
Retail.
Retail. Looked at the price on Amazon. It was like, I don't know. It was like $2 cheaper on Amazon. I put the book back on the shelf, and I'm gonna order it at some point this week. It was just like, I don't want to wait in a line. I don't want to have change in my pocket. It's just like so much easier. And it's like it's almost disgusting how it is, but it's just I'm like no.
But
I
you're
don't
you're
wanna-
talking $2, Nick. If you go look at some of the hardback books that are within like a year or so old, the difference can be as much as $8 or $10.
Yeah. It's just like it's crazy how it's just like I had the book in my hand and I was just like, nope, I'll just buy it on Amazon at my leisure at some point next week, and it'll just show up at my door, and there it is.
Well, I'm not. I don't know. I'm just at even at $2. I'm with you. It's not the $2 as much as it is the principle of it.
Yeah, and it's just every other part of it. Them, and then I'm breaking a bill and then carrying around change, and it's like stuff that isn't a big deal, but it's just like if I don't have to, why would I? And I don't need the book now, so there's no rush. It was nice that I could go into the store and look at it and say, oh, this is what I'm looking for. This is a good size book. But there was a line at the cash register, and I was like, nope, not gonna happen.
Convenience is the key.
Yeah, it's just I don't know how these places are staying in business. And if the book was cheaper at the store, I would have purchased it. But
Well, I mean, sometimes it's a convenience thing. You walk in if you want it today. You've got time.
yeah, exactly.
You don't need to wait 2 to 3 days to get it. Then you pay the $2, $3, $4, $5, $10.
So now, here's an example. This new computer, the video card has 3 DisplayPort outs, the regular DisplayPort. I don't know of any stores that sell DisplayPort adapters. Like, I don't think Walmart and Target sell them. So, this would be something that I don't necessarily need it today, but it's something that if I could go and I had to spend an extra $10 on, I probably would.
Speaking of DisplayPort, what? I mean, this is technology that I have zero knowledge about, except, well, 0.1%, except that apparently it's like Thunderbird in that you can daisy chain it.
Thunderbolt.
No, whatever the Thunderbolt's what I meant to say, but I'm talking about DisplayPort.
Yeah.
Apparently you can daisy chain it. But it's also interesting in that you can get a DisplayPort to HDMI cable, DisplayPort to DVI cable, DisplayPort, and these are just cables. They're not
They're not
converters.
even cables. They're just adapters.
Yeah, they're not converters. They're just copper wire.
Yeah, I've got a broken one that's a DisplayPort to VGA. It's just like, I mean, it's a little thing. I think that one's probably converted because it's a digital signal, but it's not it's just a little
Are you
adapter.
Are you talking about the mini DisplayPort to?
No, I have my old PC had mini DisplayPort. My new PC has regular DisplayPort. Like, hold on, I've got.
Well, DisplayPort should be DisplayPort like HDMI.
No, it is, but there's two different interfaces. There's mini and then there's full
Right.
size. So like this is what I used on my old machine. This is a mini DisplayPort
Yeah.
to VGA. This
That's
is a
what I
converter.
use.
But I can't use these on my new PC, so I have.
Oh, so it doesn't have mini display. It has regular.
So for regular DisplayPort, I've got this little box, and this is full size DisplayPort to VGA, but I believe this adapter is broken. And then I've also got, this is a mini DisplayPort to full size DisplayPort.
So you're
as
talking
well.
about HDMI to VGA, or is
No,
the
the
DisplayPort
DisplayPort.
different?
What?
Is the display when you're saying DisplayPort, is it different than HDMI?
Yes, DisplayPort is its own technology.
I know, but is the socket? Is it? It would have.
Oh yeah, yes, it's
It looks a
display.
lot. It looks like HDMI if you look at it from the wrong angle because it has one beveled side, but the other side is square. So they
No,
won't. You cannot fit one. You cannot use them. You
Okay,
can't
that-
interchange. They won't fit.
So
Correct.
people cannot plug in an HDMI and screw things up. You have to
No.
force it in. That's
No,
the point.
it's not. It's not. You'll notice the difference. I've got
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
DisplayPort.
All right.
But yeah, that's. Yeah,
All right.
that's why it'd be nice if there was a store there and it was like, but there's not. So
Yeah,
Amazon.
I have a mini DisplayPort adapter for my MacBook
Hmm.
to VGA, which my daughter has been borrowing now for a year. Maybe we'll get it back.
Spence, you said you need to scoot early, so you want to do the specials now?
Yeah, let me just go ahead and
Okay, yeah, it's up there,
let's wait.
everybody. It's on
I'll go in there
in the
now.
specials section on the left.
Special section.
It's a special section. Yeah, it's a very special section.
Yes, it's a special ward for us nutballs to hang out in. All right, I'm getting there. I'm putting it up on my 23-inch monitor right now, and I'm zooming in. Okay, are we ready to go?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Office Depot Office Max for February 8th, 2015. We've got an HP Envy 7640. This is their high-end Envy. Envy is primarily a inkjet printer designed for printing photographs in high quality. This is the 7640, which has a automatic document feed. $129 is a good price. It's $70 off the regular price. I bought the model below this, and did not have the automatic document feeder, but for $10 more, I would have certainly paid for it. But a good price. It's $70 off. They've got a Dell Inspiron 15300 series laptop with i3 processor. $379, save $170. They've got a Epson Workforce WF2660 printer. This is $50 off. It's a printer, scanner, fax, copier, inkjet. We've also got the Brother MFC L2700DW, which is a compact laser printer. It's also a copier, scanner, and fax machine, and it does have duplex, automatic duplexing, and wireless. for $149.99, save 50 bucks, and it comes with a $30 gift card. Got a couple of AMD desktop computers on sale. One is an AMD A4, this is from HP, $299, save 30 bucks. And also there is a A6 for $429, save 50 bucks. And the unique thing about this is they both come with free 20-inch HP monitors. So they say it's an $89 value. That's about right. That's what that monitor would go for on sale. But pretty good deal for a complete desktop. Western Digital, My Passport Ultra Portable Hard Drive for Mac or PC, 1 terabyte version for $79, save 10. The 2 terabyte version is $129, save 10. We've got some monitors on sale. Samsung 24-inch LED for $149, save 50. Samsung 27-inch monitor for $219, save 60. Got an APC backup UPS 700 VA for $79.99, save 20 bucks. Got some memory cards on sale. Lexar micro SD or SD cards, class 10 memory, 16 gig for $14.99, save $45. Galaxy Tab 4, the 10.1-inch screen, 16 gig of memory for $299.99, save 50 bucks. We've got a D-Link Wi-Fi AC750 dual band range extender for $49, save 10. Netgear Wireless N 4-port router, $39.99. This is the entry-level one, and I've installed several of these. I have one running downstairs. I put them in other folks' homes, and it's not the high range. It is N, wireless N, so it does have better range. It's not out there with the AC ones as far as incredible range, but it is a wireless N standard router. $39.99, $5 off. Canon wireless print, copy, scan, and fax machine. It's an inkjet for $69.99, save 30. Also, the one up from that, which is the wireless print, scan, copy, fax machine with two-sided printing for $99.99, save 100. Both of those are from Canon. And we've got Epson Workforce portable document scanner. This is a USB-powered scanner. It is a roller-fed scanner. It works especially well for scanning photographs. $99.99, save $50. And I've got another one here. It's of questionable value. I'm not sure exactly why this would be a good thing to have a battery-powered scanner. If you've got USB and you can power it, it's from a company called Viewpoint. It's $79.99, save 20 bucks. It says scan documents anywhere. Now, what they do have also, which I did not include in this, is a scanner, a handheld scanner, a wand scanner that actually has built-in memory, so you can scan right to the memory card. And again, I wonder if, whether this is of questionable value or not.
It's
Because a lot of
faster than
cameras
the.
now.
It's faster
that?
than the other one.
What's that?
It's faster.
Yeah, it could be faster, but the other one is you have to actually move the scanner by hand.
Oh,
But yeah, I had one of those. My original scanner was one like that, and it was hard to use because you had to track at the right speed.
okay.
But the battery-powered one, there are apps you can buy for your phone that will do the same thing by just snapping. Now, can't say the quality is better or worse, but there are several free scan apps you can get for your phone to take a picture of a document. I do that when I write an invoice up. If I'm handwriting it, I don't have the computer to print it for me. I will handwrite it, give it to the customer, and then make a copy of it with my phone and print it later so I have a record. So it's, take it for what it's worth. That was all at Office Depot Office Max. Moving on to Staples, they've got the Asus Mimo Pad 8. This is a 8-inch screen, comes with Android 4.4, 16 gig of storage for $129.99, save $40. Staples has a lot of Windows 7 machines on sale today. Dell desktop PC with Core i3 for $339.99, save $150. They've got a Brother entry-level inkjet MFC J470. This comes with duplex printing and wireless, $69.99, save $30. They've got a Microsoft all-in-one media keyboard. This is a keyboard that has a glide pad built in, so ideally suited for multimedia when you're sitting on the couch trying to control a computer from across the room. $29.95, save 10. They've got the Dell 2-in-1 touchscreen laptop with Windows 8. This is a convertible machine where you can flip it around and use the keyboard or just use it as a tablet. $349.99 is $150 off. It's an 11.6 inch screen. They've got the Samsung Galaxy Tab 4 7-inch tablet, 8 gig of memory for $149.99, save $50. They've got the Logitech K750. This is their high-end wireless keyboard. For $39.99, save $20. This is a keyboard only, not a mouse. You've also got the Logitech Anywhere Mouse MX. This will literally work on cloth, on glass. It will just track on anything. $39.99, save $20. 600 VA APC battery backup for $54.99. That's $20 off. Now we get into the Windows 7 machines. Got 4 more of them here. They've got a HP 15.6-inch Core i5 laptop for $599.99, save $150. Got a HP Core i3 desktop with Windows Pro 7 for $409.99, save $40. They've got the i5 version of this for $549.99. And they've got and what the difference is between these two, it's both of these are Windows 7 professional PCs, Pro desktop. What one has over the other, they have the same amount of memory, the same amount of hard drive. I'm not sure. They look the same in the picture, but one is $549 and one is $629, so there must be some difference. But they're Windows 7 machines on sale today. HP 23.6-inch widescreen LED monitor for $149.99. That's $50 off the regular price. All of the Neat desktop scanners are on sale. These are very well used by a lot of people that save receipts and have to document and digitize documents. It's very easy sheet feeders built in. Will scan just about any document on the feeder. I know several accountants / lawyers that use them. Also up there with I think it's the other one is the Fuji Scan. But their high-end Neat Connect with Wi-Fi, where it does not require physical connection, $449.99. The Neat Desktop is $369.99, 30 off. So a good deal on Neat products. We've got a Windows 8 PC, which is an Intel processor, dual core, $199.99 entry level from Dell. And we've got a Samsung 24-inch widescreen monitor for $149.99, save $70. And finally, Western Digital MyCloud. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one other thing. I'll get to it. Western Digital MyCloud personal cloud storage. This is a USB/network connected NAS drive. 2 terabytes for $149, 3 terabytes for $179. And they've also got the Toshiba external desktop hard drives, 2 terabytes for $89.99, save 10, 3 terabytes for $109.99, save 10, 4 terabytes for $149.99, save 10. That was all at Staples. Now moving on to Best Buy, and here's the product I mentioned earlier. There was something new out there that was unusual. This is from Garmin. It is a combination GPS and dashboard cam. We see a lot of pictures that come out of Russia on YouTube of things that were caught on camera. And why do they have so many cameras in their cars over in Russia? Because there's so much insurance fraud that they have to have a camera in their car to prevent insurance fraud. So now we see one of these products, which is dual use, Garmin GPS as well as camera. It's got a built-in SD card slot, and I think it has onboard memory too. But interesting device. I wonder, would this be instead of having a GoPro attached to your dashboard, this does, for less than a GoPro, it actually captures video and is also a GPS. So interesting product. $199.99, save $50. They've got a Windows 8 10.1-inch tablet and keyboard package for $229.98, save $50. Samsung Galaxy Tab 4, 7-inch, 8 gig, for $149.99. It's the same as the price over at Staples. They do have an HP Envy 15.6-inch touchscreen laptop. It's got the AMD FX high-end. This is their top-of-the-line processor for $599.99, save $50. They've got an AMD A8 Lenovo laptop. It's a bundle. It comes with a few extra things that may or may not be useful. But the $379.99, save $99.98. The A8 is a true quad-core processor. Acer 19.5-inch LED monitor for $89.99. That's $40 off. Excuse me. Seagate Backup Plus Slim 1 terabyte USB 3.0 external drive for $69.99, save $10. Toshiba 2 terabyte external USB 3.0 portable drive for $94.99, save $25. PNY has a 3-pack of 8 gig USB flash drives for $17.99, save $2. And they have their USB 3.0 32 gig, I'm sorry, it's a USB 2.0 32 gig drive for $11.99, save $38. They've got a Toshiba 256 gig serial ATA solid state drive for $119.99, save $10. Seagate Backup Plus 5 terabyte external USB hard drive, $159.99. Amnon, who'd have thought 5 terabytes for $159.99?
Yeah, they said to stay away from them. I don't know. The articles say
That's
stay
a lot of. I mean, I think they use a Stargate technology or something like that. It's actually transporting the data to another universe and back. It's like incredible stuff. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that 5 terabytes is probably way out there as far as reliability goes. Logitech G710 gaming keyboard for $99.99. That's $30 off. And the Logitech G700 rechargeable laser gaming mouse for $69.99, save $30. I recently saw these in action. I went over someone's house that was using these and playing very, very sophisticated games using the programmable keys and so on, especially with the mouse. And it's amazing. It takes a dexterity that I probably don't have to use these. Maybe I could learn. Epson Expression XP410 small-in-one wireless printer for $69.99, save $30. You probably have seen the Brother commercials. They've been advertising again and using the Tybo guy to advertise their printers. But Brother MFC 4620 business inkjet printer for $129.99, save $50. Logitech K400 wireless keyboard. This is the one for media centers with the glide pad for $24.99. That's a pretty good price for that keyboard. And finally, for all the folks out there that have lots of money to throw around, you can go ahead and install these programmable Philips Hue Wi-Fi controlled LED lights for your house. And they actually have it with a heart in their advertising for Valentine's Day. Isn't that something? Buy your Valentine a Philips Hue controllable Wi-Fi lighting starter kit for $199.99.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I'll do my whole house over with these and see how much it costs. And that's it for today.
All right.
So what time is it now? It's 10:30. Yeah, so I'm off to do have a long list of things to accomplish today, so I have some folks waiting on me to get over to their house, so
Thanks very much, Spence.
all right, thank you
Thank you,
guys, and have
Spence.
a pleasant week. And I will be, I'll call in next week briefly, but I'm going to be on vacation, heading away for a while, and I probably I'll join Sunday for a while, but the following Sunday I'm going to be unavailable. So,
In the middle of nowhere.
well, we'll be on our way back. We just won't be in. Not sure where we'll be. So we're on a cruise, and I don't really care where it goes.
All right,
I'm really
I'll
not
see you.
concerned. All right. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Spence.
All right. Have a good week, everybody.
You too.
Spence.
Bye.
Hey, Nick,
Nick's just popped
Oh.
out.
what happened to him?
He needs to restart.
Oh, shoot.
Always happens when you least expect it.
I was wondering about those gaming keyboard and mice. I mean, what is
I've
it
seen
about
some of them, and some of them have got an immense amount of buttons. I think, what on earth would you need all those buttons for? But then I'm not a gamer, so
Yeah.
it's,
See, that's why I wanted Nick to talk about it because he is. Lily Hay Newman reports at Future Tense that the police department in Columbia, Missouri recently announced its lobby will be open 24/7 for people making Craigslist transaction of any type of exchange or any type of exchange facilitated by internet services. This follows a trend that begun by police stations in Virginia Beach, East Chicago, and Boca Raton. Internet listing like Craigslist are, of course, a quick and convenient way to buy, sell, barter, and generally deal with junk. But tales of Craigslist-related assaults, robberies, and murders where victims are lured to locations with a promise of a sale aren't uncommon. Also, an item being sold could be broken or fake, and the money being used to buy it could be counterfeit. So it's nice. I mean, why don't police departments everywhere do this? And just open it and say, okay, yeah, anybody Craigslist, yeah, you can come here. It's neat. Our taxes, let it serve us, right?
if it gives people a sense of security, it can't be a bad thing.
No. The FCC chairman, Tom Wheeler, has published an op-ed explaining how and why the FCC will use its Title II authority to implement and enforce open internet protections. He says these enforceable bright line rules will ban paid prioritization and the blocking and throttling of lawful content and services. I propose to fully apply, for the first time ever, those bright line rules to mobile broadband. My proposal assures the rights of internet users to go where they want, when they want, and the right for innovators to introduce new products without asking anyone's permissions. To preserve incentive for broadband operators to invest in their network, my proposal will modernize Title II, tailoring it for the 21st century in order to provide returns necessary to construct competitive networks. For example, there will be no rate regulation, no tariffs, no last mile unbundling. Over the last 21 years, the wireless industry has invested almost $300 billion under similar rules, providing that modernized Title II regulations can encourage investments and competition. So, hopefully, it's what he says it is. But you know how politicians, and I call him politician too. Nick.
Yes.
Tell us about those gamer keyboards and mice. What is so different? And what is all this laser controlled and all? I mean, what's special about these things?
So the big thing with gaming keyboards isn't okay. So the reason they're referred to as gamer keyboards and Razer and Logitech and whatever are making keyboards built for gaming is because of the feedback. For a keyboard to be, those chiclet keyboards that come on those cheap laptops and whatever.
Right.
those things suck for gaming because there's not good feedback. And when you're gaming, you want good feedback
You
on
mean
your
the
keys.
click?
If you move, the tactile feedback
Yeah.
when you push a key down, you want
Yeah,
that
the
you want
click.
good feedback.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
that. I mean, you want that. You don't get that on the chiclet keyboard. So the reason that these are gaming keyboards is because they've got that good tactile feedback, and when you're playing a game, you want those keys to bounce back up when you're playing, and you want to feel that you're pressing a key down. You don't want to just move your hand over and
Something is happening to your audio.
What do you mean?
You went away, kind of.
Is it still like that?
Yeah. Now it is. Now it's bad.
How about now?
Yeah, now it's fine.
Hold on.
It was weird. I wonder if it's something it's because you clicked on the keyboard. Is that keyboard connected to that machine? Mike, did you hear that?
I did.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, right now it's bad.
It's probably the UCA 202.
Yeah, right now it's bad.
Yep, it's just the UCA
Yep,
202.
and it's back.
Yeah, I switched to the main input.
Okay.
I thought you replaced it.
I did, and I guess this one's got another problem.
Well,
So
so and the mice.
I don't know. I don't have a gaming mouse. The one thing you want with is adjustable DPI. If you have a gaming mouse, it's just got adjustable DPI, so you can change the speed. That's about it for a gaming mouse. Which mine's a cheaper gaming mouse, but I can adjust the DPI, which is nice. But the gaming keyboard they're mechanical, so the keys there's actually,
Yeah, that's how
mechanics.
old keyboards were all like that.
Yeah, like the IBM keyboards or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But really it's just the feedback of the keys.
Okay.
That's really what it comes down to. Is you want, because you're not looking at your keyboard when you're
Right.
playing, you want to feel that you're pressing the key down and you feel the key coming back up. That's really what
Right.
it comes down to. Plus they look cool.
So it is a better quality keyboard too, apparently.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they're so expensive. I mean, my keyboard I think was like $200.
Phew.
But it's a Razer gaming keyboard, and it'll last. And it's I think mine is Cherry MX switches, I think.
Interesting.
But yeah, Merle's saying, aren't the gaming keyboards out? Yeah, they are, because they're mechanical. So when you go and you type,
Lost your audio again.
I moved the mic down. But yeah,
My son is asking about a mechanical keyboard. He's a gamer. What kind should he be looking at?
well, it depends. How much is he looking to spend?
He don't want to spend anything. He wants me to buy it.
Well, how much are you looking to spend then?
I don't want to spend anything either, but that usually doesn't control whether it happens.
Well, no, but seriously, this thing.
No, I know. I mean, you tell me. I don't know what the options are. I mean, a $20 keyboard is Chinese junk, as John says, and
Well,
so
I mean,
I get that.
Spence just gave you the Logitech.
Well, but Spence gave me one because it's on sale. That
Right.
doesn't mean that Nick approves it.
Well, it's,
I mean, Mike, the Razer sells their baseline mechanical gaming keyboard for $100, $110. They've got a different one that's not mechanical but still has the good feedback for $60.
But you said yours was $200. What does a $200 keyboard do for you that the $100 one does not?
Mine's a limited edition.
Oh,
So
well,
mine is the Razer
It has a
Black
sticker on it.
Widow.
You got the
Battle.
Go Faster stripe on it, have you?
Yeah, it's mine is the Battlefield 4 maybe it was more like 150. I don't really remember, but mine is the Battlefield 4 Ultimate Edition. But
Come on, Mike.
Mike, if you're looking at a gaming keyboard, it's the Razer Black Widow is the normal one. Actually, the standard Black Widow without. Let me look at this. The standard Black Widow appears to only be $89, but I don't know
How
if
much?
this has $89.
well, yeah,
But I don't know
that's-
if this has LEDs, which you kind of need.
I mean,
I don't think it has LEDs.
if all it is really, it's just a matter of the feedback and the clicking. So as long
But
as
you
it-
want a mechanical keyboard, really.
I would think that the person that's going to do the playing needs to go to the store and feel it. And
No, not
see-
necessarily.
No?
I mean, if you're gaming, you probably want a mechanical keyboard.
Yeah, I understand. But I'm saying if there are 5 different ones, I mean, wouldn't...
They all use the same switches. They all use the Cherry switches
Okay.
for the most part. But then Logitech makes a good a good gaming keyboard too. They make their G series gaming keyboards that are only like $40, and they don't have that. Let's see. Actually, I have one right here. Let me see. So
They don't have what?
no, they don't have that same feedback. So this is my.
Okay.
Let me do a little sound test here. So this is the Razer one, which is the gaming mechanical one, and it sounds like this. That loud enough?
Yeah.
Then this is the Logitech one, a little bit quieter, but these aren't mechanical, but they still have that good feedback. So it's you can hear
Right,
how it's much
yeah.
duller. But
Yeah.
this is a good keyboard. This is the Logitech G110, but it's still got really good feedback, even though it's not mechanical. It's not those crappy little.
So you
chiclet
feel
keys.
it when
Correct.
you put your finger
You push
on.
you push the enter button down. The enter button rises back up with your hand. So if you're trying not to break the bank, go with the Logitech G series. The G110 is nice. I have that. But if you're not looking to get, I guess, the mid-range gaming keyboard, go with the Razer Black Widow. That's what I'd say.
Good. I mean,
You're just really anything that isn't a chiclet keyboard is going to be fine.
I like the tactile, and all the keyboards lately are those chiclet stuff.
Yeah.
MG.
So I guess I need to look for that. I mean, I've got the old IBM, but now it doesn't fit in the computer anymore. I mean, those.
Yeah, and they sell and you could just get a regular mechanical regular mechanical keyboard too. They sell those.
I don't know. It seems like I was looking, and I don't know. Anyway. 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype if you want to get in. We have 20 more minutes. We welcome your calls, guys. Here's something that Nick, you have a Chromecast.
I do.
Right. Deciding what to do on Valentine's Day just got a bit easier if you happen to own a Chromecast. As a gift to existing Chromecast owners, Google is offering a $6 Google Play credit. No strings attached. Here's everything you need to know to redeem the offer and potentially other offers you haven't taken advantage of. Make sure you are connected to the same network as your Chromecast. From there, simply open the Chromecast app for Android or iOS and tap the Check for Offers button. Look for the 3-dot menu at the top right of the screen. Alternatively, you can load it from the web by clicking a link. Once you verify the correct device, tap or click Redeem and you're golden. The credit can be used for anything in the Play Store, including games, apps, books, movies, and music. Offering store credit is a common tactic for streaming stick providers. Just a few weeks ago, for example, Google was offering a $20 free Play credit to new Chromecast buyers, in addition to a $5 practically free offer, free after offers. The stick is priced at $24.95, but you get a $5 credit each month for the first 5 months of ownership, although even still, it's not really that great considering how limited the Spark is. No word yet on how long the offer will be active, so I'd probably it'll probably be best to get it while you can. So I mean, it's $6. It's I mean, there are some apps that you can get for that much or for less. So why not? It's not like you have to go through forms and all that.
True.
$6 is $6.
There you go.
Yes, sir, it is. And did you guys hear that Amazon is going to provide or providing corporate email service?
I did not.
The new service, named Workmail, offers email and calendar hosting services aimed to take on Microsoft and Google for a slice of the work email market. Workmail is targeted to simply replace the back end of email services while still allowing employees to keep using the tools they are used to, like Outlook. The service starts at $4 per email box on Workmail for 50 gigabytes of storage. Jeez. Or $6 if bundled with Amazon's document management service, Zocalo.
See, this is a stupid move on Amazon's part. I mean, they can't compete with Google with the business market at all. I mean,
They want a piece of a slice of the pie.
well, I understand they want a slice of the pie, but they're not even providing a comparable service with the Google.
Right.
What is it called? Google Business or whatever? Google Apps. I mean, it gives you everything. Your Google Drive, everything else. I wouldn't pay. Was it $5 a month for just business hosted email?
$4. Yep.
$4. I mean,
Yeah.
you could probably get a similar thing from Google with everything else as well.
Yeah, but you get 50 gig. You don't get 50 gig from Google.
Oh yeah, you do.
You know?
Pretty sure they give you a free terabyte or something.
50 gig for your email. Jeez. What, Google gives you 10?
I don't know what it is.
Do you
but
know
it's-
anybody that ever rented up to 10?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
I mean,
50 gigabyte. Now that's a gimmick.
no, they give you 15 gigabytes worth of free storage.
Oh, okay. It used to be 7 or 9. I don't know.
Can't
Interesting.
beat that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What else?
See, the Pirate Bay came back up again.
It is, yes.
Bit of controversy over them not having moderators, but they've taken on somebody else's spam bot software. I can't think which other torrent site from, but it looks like it's back up and running again, albeit in a slightly lesser form, but they're getting there.
It is in fact back up and running and does work and does function.
I've not tried it, but I've been reading some reports on it, and it's a bit of a poke in the eye for the MPAA yet again.
Yep, they are back full
They're
throttle and
back.
everything.
Fair play to them, I think. They're very persistent.
Yep. And while they were down, the big one was Kickast.so. Yeah, that was the big one while they were
Oh.
down.
I've noticed that the my old domain name FileSoup that I used to have has been taken over by being used by Kickass now. Kickass.filesoup.com. Quite surprised to see that sort of poking up in the news again after such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Here is something that I wish we started on this earlier, but it's misconceptions about mobile batteries.
Okay.
Batteries have memory. He says, nope, not at all. People used to think that you had to train your battery to make sure it would take the most charge. To do that, people would drain it regularly and charge it. And they'd never plug it in when it was over 50%. The thought was that over time the battery would develop a memory and allow for just a percentage of the charge. This is not true. If your battery
it used to be true in the
It
nickel
used to be,
cadmium
yeah.
days.
in the NiCad, yeah. If your battery is 80%, top that off. Top that baby off. Frequent charges will do no damage to your battery. Then number 2, it says off-brand chargers will damage your battery. Although some off-brand chargers aren't optimal and some even take longer to charge the battery, they will not harm it as long as the charger is working properly. Now, how do you know that? This means it's perfectly okay to run to Target and buy cheap charger to replace the factory chargers that came with your phone. The one exception to this is the chargers that shipped with your Droid Turbo. Make sure when looking for a replacement, you find one made specifically for that device. Otherwise, you won't enjoy the 15-minute charge time that delivers 8 hours of usage. So it will not damage it, but you will not get that feature. Charging your phone overnight will damage your battery. False. I'm not going to get into all the details on it because it's just, I think it's repeats. Don't use your phone while it charges. People seem to think that using a phone while it charges will have a negative impact on the quality of charge the battery gets. But unless you're using a low-quality knockoff charger, this is not remotely true. Turning off your phone can damage your battery. Nah, there isn't even the slightest truth to this. Of course, if you leave your phone off for an extended period of time, the battery will drain. That's the nature of batteries. But it is perfectly fine to shut that device off every once in a while, and you can even shut the device off and, if applicable, remove the battery if you like. No harm will come to the battery. In fact, for some devices, a simple reboot can help to restore battery functionality. So even though that Android device runs perfectly fine day in and day out, give it a break now and then. It says you should always charge your phone to full before you're using it. People think that. Not true. And that's back to the memory. Now, here's one that we all did. Putting your batteries in the freezer will extend its life. I remember
This was
that
before.
back.
When
What?
was this?
That was years back.
So this is before, because I've never heard of this.
Yeah. He says, I remember back in the 80s, we placed batteries in the freezer for a short period to try to get a bit more out of them and also to store batteries. It didn't work then and it won't work now. In fact, Li-ion batteries are negatively affected by both heat and cold. Room temperature is always the best temperature for your smartphone battery. They get hot, those machines get hot, so there's no need to expose them to extra heat. And cold is an enemy of Li-ion batteries. I didn't know that. Also, make sure you store your device somewhere with airflow. My wife used to place her phone in a sealed plastic baggie when she rode her mountain bike. Yes, it's good to prevent moisture from getting into the device, but sealing all that heat in will affect both the phone and the battery. A word of caution, heat is much more damaging to batteries than cold is. Number 8, using the internet will run down the battery faster than anything else. Not true. The single most draining thing you can do on your smartphone is gaming. The graphics engines are massive energy drainers. If you game a lot on your device, dim the screen as much as you can while playing if you want to extend your battery life. But if you can play that game while charging, go ahead and keep that screen at full brightness. And it says this also depends upon what you are using for the internet for. If you're viewing videos through YouTube, online gaming, or doing other graphics intensive activities, it will drain your battery faster. Turning off Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS will prolong your battery. In and of itself, this is false. The only time these devices, services actually drain your battery is if they are in use. So having Bluetooth turned on when you're not using a Bluetooth device isn't going to drain your battery any more than having
I disagree with
Wi-Fi on.
that.
Say again?
I disagree with that
Well,
100% because whenever your Bluetooth is on, your phone is always searching for devices. So how would that not drain your battery?
are you sure it's searching?
I'm 100%
Because
positive because if you have your Bluetooth on and you go in a room with a Bluetooth device, it pops up right away. I totally disagree with
I
that.
think it's only if it's paired, because
No,
because
because
the
you have to-
instructions for pairing always mention to make your phone look for new devices.
My phone is always scanning for device. If I go into, let me
Really?
do it right now. If I go into
Because-
Bluetooth, it always says it's always searching.
Interesting.
I don't see that doesn't make any sense to me. I totally disagree with that because I've seen my battery life go
It says
up
yes,
when I'm
they
not
will
using Bluetooth.
pull an insignificant amount of energy from your battery, but they will not drain it over the course of the day. If you're really concerned about getting as much life as possible from your battery, dim your screen. That's the first
Yeah,
thing.
that's
they
the
say to
big
do.
thing, but definitely like do not keep your Bluetooth on if you don't use it.
Task managers help prolong your battery life. As much as I hate to say it, third-party task managers do nothing for battery life that the built-in system can't handle. Yes, those task managers can whitelist, blacklist tasks, but in the end, they really don't help your battery any more than the built-in system. You might want to employ a task manager to better control your apps, but don't assume that third-party managers will extend the life of your battery any better than the default tool. And then it goes, a better approach. Smartphone batteries and smartphones usage of those energy cells get better every year. But those old school and some new school misconceptions simply need to die off. With just the slightest consideration, your battery will last you a long time. So it's as long as you take good care of it, I guess. Yeah, don't worry if it goes dead. It's not like a car battery that if it went dead and you charge it, it's going to lose something. Yeah. Apparently, those Li-ion, and I think everything today uses Li-ion. I don't know anything that uses anything other than, is a whole different story than what we grew up with. That's all I got.
Back to you.
Yeah, Movie Buff says we need solar-powered backsides on phones.
What we really need is innovation in battery technology.
Well, that's happening all the time, but it's so far off. It's decades away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What I think they ought to do is not necessarily think so much about having the devices as thin as possible. They ought to bring back replaceable batteries so you can have one on charge and one in use.
Yeah. Let's see. Alan is saying that he finds that battery power diminishes when Wi-Fi signal is weak. Yeah, I can attest to that. And another thing, that a situation that I'm in at my high school, we have really, really spotty cell service. Don't ask me why, but we have really spotty cell service. And, I throughout the day I'm on, a bar, 2 bars, no service, edge. I'm on all that stuff, and it kills my battery. My phone is normally in airplane mode when I'm at school, and I'm just on Wi-Fi because it absolutely destroys your battery that you're, just barely holding on to.
Yep, that'll do that.
1
Absolutely.
bar, 2 bars edge or something like that. It's horrendous.
All right. Well, it's almost 11. Is there anything else that we need to talk about? Mike, you got something?
Nope.
Infectionpodcast.com, Tuesday evenings at 7.
Was that infectionpodcast.com?
Is, yes.
Okay, just to make sure I heard that correctly.
not plural, infection, infection, podcast.com.
Yeah, those
Well, this is timed
calculate.
perfectly. My coffee cup is just emptied, so wonderful.
There you go.
All right, everybody. Okay.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank
Have a
you.
good week.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks, Spence. And everybody in the chat. Good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And 2 o'clock this afternoon, it's Your Healthy Pet and You. Gisela DiCarlo is going to be talking about homeopathy and regular medicine when it comes to pets. And tonight at 8 o'clock, it's the Tanya Love Show. See you, everybody.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, The Tanya Love Show, Your Healthy Pet with Gisela DiCarlo. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.